Not long ago, Cardano CEO Charles Hoskinson talked about their new strategy to pursue Fortune 500 companies as customers for their new plan, which involves targeting markets in Africa and effectively building a low-cost, efficient local payment network to act as a bridge for the local people and the larger international businesses which want to access those markets. And I've said before that while this idea isn't a new one in itself and that companies have been trying to crack the payments industry in Africa for decades now, nobody has really applied blockchain technology to the situation, and that's one of the reasons as to why Cardano is different. You see, there is demand for low-cost and fast payment bridging systems to enable seamless commerce between the two parties, as on the one side we have certain countries in Africa which are rapidly becoming more technologically advanced and people are being lifted into the middle class, and so these people will be spending more and more on consumption over time, and it's only reasonable to assume that, in my opinion, they'll want to buy directly from American, European, and Asian companies if it's possible to do so. And as for the large businesses, what's in it for them is access to the network of customers already using and who will in the future be using the Cardano network. And this is a huge benefit as companies in more economically developed countries like the USA and the UK are finding it hard to source growth in their slow-growing domestic economies, and so getting into fast-growing markets in Africa is a great way to cement their brands as market leaders in those countries, whose economies are predicted over the coming years to increase in size tremendously. Also, if you're enjoying this video so far, be sure to subscribe to our channel for regular crypto giveaways and new daily content. Anyway, in my view, Cardano have a huge pre-existing advantage in many of the African markets, which makes crypto a much more favored option by average people in those areas relative to the existing alternatives. Unfortunately, it tends to be the case that while these economies are growing rapidly, they are also often located in countries with fairly weak financial infrastructure and relatively corrupt governments and monetary systems. I believe that there were 13 countries in Africa which recorded an inflation rate of above 10% annually last year, and with the top 5 countries in that group experiencing inflation of over 20% per year, and 2 actually recorded triple-digit inflation. And these rates, assuming that they were recorded accurately, were at least 5 times higher than the 2% target annual inflation in the UK and in the USA. And inflation is actually a hidden tax on the savings and income of average people. The rich tend to be able to keep a high percentage of their net worth invested and may only have a few percent liquid in cash. But the worse off you are financially, the greater the percentage of income you are likely to hold in cash, as most of your income is going to be directed toward household expenditures. And so you may have little or no disposable income to invest, and so inflation has the greatest effect on poorer and average people. And until now, people simply had to put up with this hidden tax on the value of their savings and income because there was no viable alternative. And I have personally heard that people in Africa, especially younger people, are already interested in cryptocurrency and in many cases are already using crypto. And because they and their parents, and perhaps even their grandparents, have likely been subjected to the hidden and very expensive tax of government-induced monetary inflation, I think that there is a strong cultural desire to break away from national currencies where possible. And so the demand from both people in Africa and international companies does exist. And I for one think that many people in Africa, again especially young people, are already interested in crypto. And so if Cardano can successfully set up as a payment system which offers a low-cost, non-inflationary and rapid alternative to the highly inflationary and ineffective currencies that they are currently using, I think that there is absolutely huge potential for Cardano to grow in value substantially. Also remember that even if the price of ADA were to go up 10-fold or 100-fold from here, there wouldn't be any inflation from the perspective of the consumer. If anything, it would be beneficial to the holder of ADA and not detrimental. Now let's say that ADA rises 10-fold in 2021. Now even though the price of ADA would rise by 1,000%, companies would just charge proportionally less ADA for their products as each ADA would be worth more. And so while the people who owned ADA before would benefit from the price rises, actually nobody in the equation loses out. The companies, even though they are charging less ADA, are still receiving the same amount of exchangeable value for their products. And for those who didn't own any ADA while the price was rising, while they aren't gaining anything, they also aren't losing anything either, unlike the losses we are all subjected to under an inflationary monetary system. It's also probably worthwhile mentioning that Cardano have been operating in Ethiopia for the last 3 years or so, and I can only assume that they have been getting to know the local market and building connections and probably testing out their model before they roll it out across Africa. And the fact that after this 3-year period they are planning on pursuing this strategy to me is a good indication of positive results. Anyway, that's all for this video. If you enjoyed and would like to see more content like this, be sure to subscribe to our channel. Also remember that I'm sharing my own thoughts and opinions here and that this video is not financial advice. Thanks for watching.